Hello, how are you? This is Lerone Kuntz. I'm here in Fulton County. Ground zero for the Fani versus Trump trial or hearing that's going on to disqualify Fani Willis from prosecuting Trump. And I have a motion here that almost got by us, and we're going to talk about this. It's a motion from defendant David Schaefer. Now, David Schaefer is one of the defendants that was charged in the RICO case of election interference. It was Donald Trump and 18 others. Well, he's one of the 18 others, and his lawyer is asking the judge, in the event that you open the trial up again for more evidence or more testimony, we would like to subpoena a witness to come in and testify. And the person that they're saying that they want to subpoena and come in and testify is named Cindi Lee Yeager. Cindi Lee Yeager is the co-chief deputy district attorney for the Cobb County, Georgia District Attorney's Office. So she's the co-chief deputy district attorney of Cobb County. Cobb County is the one of the counties that borders Fulton County, where we are right now. So it's to the northwest of Fulton County, and she is a high official there. And she wants to testify about things that Bradley told her. She saw Bradley's testimony, Terrence Bradley's testimony, and she has a problem with it because she says that Terrence Bradley told her something totally different than what he testified to. So she wants to, I guess, make the record straight or keep the record straight. So she's saying from in or around August of 2023 through January 2024, Ms. Yeager had numerous in-person and other conversations with attorney Terrence Bradley in which information relating to District Attorney Willis and Mr. Wade was discussed. In the course of Mr. Bradley's and Ms. Yeager's discussions, Mr. Bradley told Ms. Yeager the following. District Attorney Willis and Mr. Wade met during the 2019 Municipal Court Continuing Legal Education Conference. Mr. Wade began his romantic relationship with District Attorney Willis at or around this time. Talking 2019, okay? Mr. Wade had definitively begun a romantic relationship with Miss Willis during the time that Miss Willis was running for district attorney in 2019 through 2020. Now, this is significant because this contradicts what they swore to, Wade and Willis, on the stand a couple of weeks ago. They said that their romantic relationship started in March of 2022. Then it goes on. Mr. Bradley stated that he had personal knowledge of the relationship between Mr. Wade and District Attorney Willis and included details regarding the use of Miss Robin Yerdy's apartment and other meetings prior to November 2021. Now, Miss Yerdy is significant because Miss Yerdy is the young lady who testified that she had personal knowledge that the relationship between Wade and Willis was in effect in 2020 and 2021. Okay, it goes on. Mr. Bradley stated that Mr. Wade personally prepared his own divorce complaint against his spouse, Miss Joycelyn Wade, and told Mr. Bradley to sign the divorce filings and to file them on Mr. Wade's behalf. Based upon this statement, or these statements, it is Miss Yeager's understanding that Mr. Bradley did not begin representing Mr. Wade until November 2021. Now that's significant because in the last video, we talked about Terrence Bradley's testimony, and from the time he sat down on the stand, he was saying that he could not testify because of attorney-client privilege, and that attorney-client privilege began in 2018 when he started representing Wade in his divorce. This contradicts that. This says that Wade personally prepared his own divorce complaint against his spouse. And he gave it to Bradley to sign the divorce filings and to file them on Mr. Wade's behalf in 2021. All right, and then it goes on. It says, in or around September 2023, Mr. Bradley was visiting Miss Yeager in her office when Mr. Bradley received a telephone call. Miss Yeager could hear that the caller was District Attorney Willis. District Attorney Willis was calling Mr. Bradley in response to an article that was published about how much money Mr. Wade and his partners and his law partners had been paid in this case. Miss Yeager heard District Attorney Willis tell Mr. Bradley, quote, "They are coming after us. You don't need to talk to them about anything about us," unquote. So this is interesting because when Wade got his contract from Fani Willis, he got it in November 1st of 2021. But he didn't just get a contract. His law office got a contract. Mr. Bradley got a contract with Fulton County. So I guess there was an article written or something, because it says that Miss Willis, in response to an article that was published about how much money Wade and his law partners had been paid, she's calling Bradley and letting him know, listen, don't say anything. Don't talk to anybody about the type of money that you were making when you were doing the contracts, when you were had the contract with Fulton County. And then lastly, it says Miss Yeager watched Mr. Bradley's testimony before the court and became concerned as a result of the fact that what Mr. Bradley testified to on the witness stand was directly contrary to what Mr. Bradley had told Miss Yeager in person. Therefore, in the event that the court reopens the hearing to receive additional evidence as requested by the state and defendant former President Trump, Mr. Schaefer requests that the defense be permitted to subpoena Miss Yeager and present Miss Yeager's testimony relating to the matters set forth within. 4 people that are involved in this situation testified. You had Wade testify, Nathan Wade, you had Fani Willis testify, you had Terrence Bradley, who was Wade's law partner, testify, and then you had Yeager, Robin Yeager testify, and she was an old friend of Fani Willis. And the only one that seems to be truthful out of the 4 is Yeager. She came up there. She said what she said. She was very solid. She was very clear. She didn't equivocate. She didn't hesitate. She just told what she knew, that they had been in a relationship and she had witnessed them hugging, kissing, showing affection. And she said what she said. And I guess the Fani Willis's attorneys, they didn't want to question her. I guess she was so solid. They're like, well, let's just get her off the stand. Let's not even cross-examine her. So to me, when I saw her testimony, I believed it. I believe she knew. And she told her story. When Willis came up, when Fani Willis came up, she's aggressive, she's argumentative, she's talking over people, she's talking about things that they're not asking her to talk about. And things that you would think that she would know, she acts like, or she doesn't know. So it seems like she was disingenuous. Like you really had to question whether she was telling the truth or not. Okay. And there was one instance in particular that stuck out to me when they asked her when the relationship ended between her and Wade. And then she starts thinking and she starts saying, oh, well, a man would say that the relationship ends when, the physical aspect of the relationship is over. But as a woman, I would say, now, that's not what a normal person would say. If asked when the relationship is over, you would say what you felt, that the relationship was over. You wouldn't go into this. I think at that point, when I watched that scene, it's like she's trying to think what he would say, right? So if they ask him, what would he say? Like they had talked about everything else. And that's the one thing that they hadn't really discussed. Like, when did it end? We are clear. We sat down and we determined that we were going to say that it began in February of 2022 or March of 2022. We were clear on that, but we didn't really get to the part of when exactly it ended. So I'm going to say, I'm going to think that he's going to say, in June, but I'm going to say August or whatever. So I think that, to me, that showed that she wasn't telling the truth. And Wade, of course, he proved that he was lying when he was talking about the documents when he was being questioned about the documents that he had sent to the divorce court, that he had sworn to, that he hadn't had a relationship with anyone from the beginning of the marriage till May 2023. And then, he comes behind that and submits an affidavit to the court that says that he was in a relationship with Fani Willis from 2022. So it totally contradicted what he had sent to the divorce court that he swore to. So that shows that he's not honest. So the only person out of the four, to me, that is truthful is Yeager. And that's interesting to me because when you watch the closing arguments, there's a discussion between the judge and Fani Willis's attorney, and they're calling into question Yeager's testimony. As the closing arguments progress, it gets to Yeager's testimony, and Fani Willis's lawyer is saying, well, we think that she's not telling the truth because prior to her testifying, her lawyer said that she didn't know anything, that his client didn't want to testify, that she, didn't know anything about the relationship. So then she comes and testifies, and then she says these things about Wade and Willis. He was trying to say, or he was saying, that the reason why she did come forth and actually say that about Wade and Willis is because she was trying to get back at Willis because Willis had fired her, I think in 2022, gave her the option of either quitting or being fired, and she chose to quit or resign. And for that reason, Fani Willis's lawyer is saying that's why she came here and she said what she said about the relationship. She was trying to get back at Fani Willis and Wade. So the judge was saying, well, if that's the case, if she really wanted to come down here and say something that would damage or contradict Fani and hurt Fani or get back at Fani, wouldn't she had just come on her own? Like when we subpoenaed her, would she had resisted coming if she just wanted to come down to say what she said? She was a reluctant witness. She didn't want to come down there. And Fani Willis's attorney really didn't have an answer for that. Of course, a lawyer's never going to admit that. He's going to argue the point, but he really didn't have an answer for that. He was saying that, she told the truth to her lawyer and said that she didn't know anything. And then when she got on the stand, she said what she said, and that wasn't truthful. Like, the truthful part was when she spoke to a lawyer, not when she was on the stand. And the judge is like, trying to understand his reasoning as to why she would do that. But the one thing that struck me is that neither did the lawyers that were talking, Fani Willis's lawyers, Trump's lawyers, the judge, none of them took consideration to the fact that when Miss Yeager testified, she was under oath. When she was talking to a lawyer before she testified, and when she was telling him that, hey, I don't know anything, I don't want to testify, she wasn't under oath. And, for some people, being under oath means something. If you raise your hand and say, I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that means something to some people. They don't want to swear before God and then start lying, And I think that Yeager was that type of person where she just said, you know what, I don't want to testify, and maybe I could lie to the lawyer, but when I get under oath and I raise my hand, then I got to tell it like it is. And I think she told it like it is. And the thing that struck me is that no lawyer in that room made that connection. They all were just trying to figure out, why when she came on the stand, she changed what she had told the lawyer. And it's like, I just felt like they are so jaded, you know, doing this law thing, that they don't even consider the fact that somebody would tell the truth just because it's the right thing to do. Like, there's got to be some sort of motive for them saying what they said. It can't be the fact that they are sworn in under oath and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, you know, so help me God. That's not even in their mind, you know what I mean? And that's how jaded the system is. It's like, it's just about what you can prove. It's not what the truth is, it's what you can prove. And if you get up there and you say something that's not right, if they can't prove it's not right, it's okay. But in reality, it's not okay. Because if you get up there and you raise your hand, you're supposed to tell the truth at that point. You know, you might not want to tell the truth before that, but once that happens, you're supposed to tell the truth. But in our system, or at least here in Fulton County, it doesn't look like that. Because it seems like the high officials, and probably throughout, you know, not just Fulton County, but probably throughout the country, we got these officials that take these oaths, and they have no problem just disregarding the fact that they swore to do this, that, and the other. You know, they're just going to do what they can get away with. And that's what I took away from that conversation that they had. So that's pretty much what I had to say about that. And we'll see whether Ms. Yeager is going to be allowed to testify, you know, whether the judge is going to reopen the evidence phase of the trial. And if he does, you know, hopefully we'll get to see it, and I'll be here to report about it. And I want to thank y'all once again for coming and checking me out. And I'm out here tonight because today was a nice day outside and everybody was doing their lawns, so it was too much noise out here. And so I decided to come out here in the evening when it's much quieter. So until next time, as always, peace and stay safe.